Anyone you think would be your best friend? I mean, eventually or during the competition?
Oh, it's so hard to say. I've been hearing all words like the Bardagula and the Badwa,
Yes.
but that is not necessary.
How do you balance your responsibilities to both countries you represent?
Yeah, I'm a very proud biracial woman, and I think it's not fair to me to be able to have to choose between my Australian or my Filipino heritage.
Hello mga ka-Crown and welcome back to our YouTube channel, The Crown Philippines. This is Christian at tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang ating coverage for this pageant season. Especially today, we have another special guest and she's one of the parang freshest faces in Philippine pageantry. But wait, this is not her first rodeo in pageantry. We'll get to know more about her in a while, but of course, before anything else, we'd like to give a big shout out to our almost 500,000 followers on Facebook. We're on a road to 100,000 followers on Instagram, and help us achieve another milestone on YouTube. So by reaching 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, kaya sa mga hindi pa po nakakapag-subscribe, just click on the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you can be updated with our recent news, reviews, and pageant coverage, and you can be part of our growing Crown Nation. And of course, for more updates, you can visit our official website. It's www.thecrown.com. Ito na nga mga ka-Crown. She is the founder of Defense Skincare and Model Street based in Australia. Miss Universe Philippines Australia, Kymberlee Street.
Hello, thank you so much for having me and appreciate your time and the team at The Crown for having a chat with me and getting to know me more.
Thank you, Kim. Can I call you Kim?
Of course you can. You can call me whatever you like.
Very beautiful. Thank you for accepting our invite. I know it's a very hectic schedule. So the press presentation, it was like a week ago already, and I just want to check how are you feeling the competition right now?
Well, I'm still, I guess, on that high and that rush of adrenaline. It was really a great night to be able to really show people what I'm truly capable of. I heard that I was a little bit of a surprise to people.
Yes.
I've been hearing good comments so far, so I hope to continue that journey and going up from here.
You're actually trending on social media. A
Really?
lot of pageant
Talaga?
fans liked your styling during the press presentation. So kudos to your team, and congratulations. So you're now one of the most buzzed about candidates in Miss Universe Philippines, and they would want to get to know more about you. Can you just share just a few things about who Kimberly Street is?
So I grew up in Australia, and I am very much a really outdoorsy, adventurous person. I love going to the beach. I got into scuba diving and really just a thrill seeker. And of course, being brought up with really strong Filipino values, that has really been a big part of my upbringing. I'm also really tied to my mom, who inspired me to start my own businesses as well. So I founded 2 businesses, as you mentioned, Defense Skincare and Model Street, something that I am really passionate about. But things I do for fun is really just spending time with my loved ones, going outdoors, or even just simple times where I can just enjoy food. I love my food big time.
This is the first time that we see you compete in the Philippines. But as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, this is not your first pageant.
No, it is not.
Can you
Yes.
tell us more about
So I actually did begin my pageant journey back in 2017 for my first national pageant, which was Miss Philippines Australia. So I actually won that title. So that was really the beginning of everything, really. It opened me up to more pageants, a lot of modeling experiences, but also really gave me a lot of self-development and confidence, because growing up I was the shyest, introverted person, and people who knew me when I was a kid would not even think that I would be right here now in front of hundreds of people, sharing my story, strutting my stuff on stage. So that was really the beginning of where it all started, and I fell in love with what I can discover about myself, but how I can really use a platform to talk about causes that are really close to my heart and really inspire others to embrace their unique self.
Looking at your bio actually and hearing you speak right now, it serves inspiration to young women who would like to achieve and take the path that you have right now. So, we'd like to know what aspirations did Kimberly Street have before entering Miss Universe Philippines?
So, before entering Miss Universe Philippines, I was really focused on building and leveraging my two businesses. In terms of my skincare business, the next goal I had was really getting into wholesaling and stocking my products in retail spaces. And in terms of Model Street, my modeling coaching business, at the moment it is online, but it has always been my dream to have in-person events where I would get people all from the industry, from photographers, makeup artists, hairstylists, fashion stylists, to come together in a collaborative space. So I'm able to share my knowledge, but also allow the other industry professionals to really teach new aspiring models getting into the industry.
Were there any models or inspirations or mentors that served as influence in terms of your inspirations?
So I'm very grateful to have always been surrounded by very supportive and loving people in my life. I think someone that has really been a significant mentor or role model that I look up to is probably one of my best friends. So I'd like to give a shout out to April. From the day we met, only a few years ago, she has been like a big sister to me. She has always believed in my potential and really encouraging me to pursue my dreams and passions, whether that's in my own businesses and now even being here in the Miss Universe Philippines competition. It's really a blessing to have someone like her in my life.
Is she coming over to watch the pageant?
Yes, she is planning to come. She is very dedicated supporter, my number one hype girl. So she is planning. So I really hope to see her for the finals.
Excited to meet you as well, April. All right, so Kim, being born with an Australian father and a Filipino mother, some argue that there may be pressure to conform to cultural expectations, such as maintaining close ties with extended family or participating in traditional customs. How do you balance honoring your Australian Filipino heritage with asserting your own individuality? Because we've had Filipino representatives who are biracial, and it has always been a question as to whether which heritage do they prioritize, especially when they get into the international stage. So, in your case,
Yeah.
what's your perspective on that?
Of course. So I think really growing up, I did feel that little bit of conflict and pressure. I didn't really feel that sense of belonging. But I think now, as I matured and I've grown up, I have really learned to embrace my dual identity and to be a proud biracial woman. So now I don't really feel the pressure of trying to conform to one identity. I'm proud to be both. So I think the mixture of my Australian heritage, I really found those values of independence and resilience, and from my Filipino heritage and roots, that warmth, that hospitable nature, and of course our strong ties to our family. And I always forget how much family that I have every time I come to the Philippines, or that extended family. And it's so great to be always surrounded by that unwavering love and support from them. So I'm so grateful to have such love.
How often do you visit the Philippines?
I try to as much as I can. So the last time I came was probably in 2019, so it was before COVID. I did have plans in 2020, but obviously that was a whole other story. But now I'm back here and it just feels like home, and I'm really happy to be here.
And which Filipino dish do you enjoy?
Oh, I like pangat na
Pangat?
isda,
Oh.
saka sinigang ng baboy. maasim, mas masarap.
Grabe.
I like the maasim.
Gutom, di ba?
I'm trying.
And of course, a lot of fans would always, it's been a trend for for them to ask if you've tried Jollibee.
Of course, that was my first meal when I arrived this time, but I've had
Ah.
it previously. And I also tried balut for the
Balut?
first time when I
Wow.
arrived. Wasn't as bad as I thought. I think it's better not to dissect it. It's just to kind of eat it in one go. But yeah, it was an experience.
Okay, so a lot of pageant enthusiasts are now checking out your profile, your bio, and getting to know more about you. And they're saying that you have an excellent pedigree or a good background, with you being a founder of your own organization, your own skincare brand. Is that how you call it?
Yes.
So, and so many would say that, does that give you an advantage, in terms of having a good chance of winning? And how do you make it, how do you level the playing field? Because they think that, many would always say that because of your experience, it gives you an advantage over the other girls.
Yeah, so I can understand where people may getting this idea of certain resources and everything like that, but I think that there's so much more for than just the resources or our pedigree or our backgrounds that we should be focusing on. I am not new to pageantry, but I am new to competing here in the Philippines. So I kind of feel like I am back at square one. So I don't really need to focus too much on the resources. It's really when I came here as well, really trying to find the right people it can be hard. I know that maybe people who have also participated in previous years, the resources may be
Yeah.
readily available, but for people like me coming from overseas or even other girls who are new to the pageant scene, it can be a little bit harder for them. So I think there's so much more to focus on about what our stories are, our confidence, our personality, our values that we really want to portray more to the
Anyone
girls.
you think would be your best friend? I mean, eventually, or during the competition
Oh,
along
it's
the
so
way.
hard to say. Everyone has been so lovely, so kind. I've been hearing all words like the bardagulan, the badla,
Yes.
but that is not necessary. I think it's really, we're here to support each other, encourage, and we all have different stories. We have different advocacies that we want to stand for. So I'm not too sure who will be my best friend. Hopefully we'll all walk hand in hand down the stage on finals night, and I can't wait for that moment.
You seem to be very successful with everything that you've planned for your life so far. How do you define success as a beauty queen?
Success for me is not just about, those materialistic things and monetary wealth. For me, it's really about being able to achieve my goals, to persevere through any challenges or setbacks that come my way, and really live my life with integrity, compassion, and authenticity. I really want to make a positive change in this world and being able to inspire others to really believe in themselves. And that's why I take so much pride through my modeling mentoring to be able to help these models not make the same mistakes that I did when I first started.
Congratulations for everything you've achieved, and you're serving as an inspiration to all young Filipino women who are watching us right now. And syempre, before mga ka-crown, before we continue, would like to, of course, acknowledge and thank the Miss Universe Philippines organization for allowing us to do this interview. Also, Olympus Studios, our venue for today, and our sponsor here on the Crown Philippines, Tasa Mobile Cafe, for sharing us or for sending us some goodies, buttered cookies, ang kanilang ano yata, one of their what do you call that? Yung most loved, most best seller pala yun. Best seller, ayan. Tasa Mobile Cafe. Thank you so much. Ayan po. Now, we have a couple of questions, Kim, naman, from our Crown community. And the first question is from Rina Jane Latorre of Muntinlupa. Hi, Rina. She asks, some argue that beauty queens with dual citizenship should prioritize one country over the other in terms of their public image and advocacy work. How do you balance your responsibilities to both countries you represent?
Hi, Rena. Thank you so much for that question. In terms of that, I think that, as I mentioned earlier, I'm a very proud biracial woman, and I think it's not fair to me to be able to have to choose between my Australian or my Filipino heritage. And plus, it wouldn't be fair to my parents as well. It wouldn't be a really fair comparison. So in terms of how I use that and what I'm most prioritizing, I think that we can appreciate both Australia and Philippines as such a multicultural and diverse country, and each have certain social issues that are prioritized highly depending of where you are. But right now I'm here in the Philippines, and I mentioned earlier I really want to be able to help with the issue to combat human trafficking and the sexual exploitation of children, which is a really significant concern here. So I'm really here in the Philippines to immerse myself to see what I can really do for the fellow Filipinos here.
And you spend time in Australia and then you also spend time here in the
Yes.
Philippines. Okay. So, another question from our Crown community from Jacqueline Santos from Pasig. Which do you favor more? Inclusivity or individuality? Where inclusivity allows no restrictions while individuality highlights the celebration of the unique qualities of a specific group. I think she's tying this up more for, I mean, in terms of beauty pageants right now, in terms of the removal of the age restrictions for Miss Universe. And at the same time, there are still groups who would prefer the traditional set of requirements for a beauty pageant. So, which do you favor more, inclusivity or individuality?
Again, thank you so much for the question. I think inclusivity and individuality really goes hand in hand, and I think we should be focusing on the importance of how they can create a diverse and vibrant community. In terms of inclusivity, it's more about that respect, about the acceptance of individuals, and then on the other side, individuality is really understanding what makes a person unique, what makes them special, looking at their values and their traits. So I think rather than trying to favor one side, we should be highlighting the importance of both.
And that's the key word, acceptance.
Acceptance.
So it goes beyond borders, regardless of gender, status, and at the same time celebrating qualities specific to a group is also relative to accepting everyone, right? Okay, so you mentioned this is not your first pageant, right? And we just want to know how competitive is Kimberly when it comes to beauty pageants or any kind of competitions you've joined so far.
I think that I get my competitive side definitely from my Filipino heritage. So I'm really coming here to Miss Universe Philippines with a strong and competitive spirit. However, I really want to ensure that I am setting my high standards for myself, and I really work hard towards my goals. But in terms of my goals, I'm really not here to be better than anyone else. I really want to be better than the person that I was yesterday, better than the person I was last year. It's really for me about growing and learning as an individual, becoming more self-aware, and also being grateful for all the stepping stones that have made me the person I am today.
Focus is very
Focus on what I can control.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's very important. Now, for Filipino pageant enthusiasts, they would always look for a Latina slayer every time that the competition is held in South America and Latin America. And with your performance during the press presentation, you're one of the names they would always bring up. When they're labeling a candidate as a Latina slayer, a potential Latina slayer. And when we say a Latina slayer, most of the time they have these three qualities of a beauty queen: stage presence, Q&A skills, and the relatability. Which of these three beauty queen essentials do you think you have on in your toolbox?
In my toolbox. Oh. I definitely think that I have a strong foundation in relatability. I really found the importance of empathizing with others, so I'm able to understand where they're coming from and build those genuine connections. But I also think that ability to be relatable helps me with my stage presence, being able to show that confidence on stage, and as well with the Q&A, challenging these Q&A sessions, really being able to have my own personal experiences tied in. So I guess I would say that I do possess all three, and I really want to be able to make that strong.
Wow, mic drop moment. Indeed a bloodbath for Miss Universe Philippines 2024, mga ka-crown. Now, unfortunately, we have a very limited time, and again, would like to thank you for accepting our invite. But before we let you go, I have one more question for you. Kim, why do you want to win Miss Universe Philippines?
I want to win Miss Universe Philippines because I want to be able to add to the legacy of strong and compassionate women who really make a positive impact. And although I grew up in Australia, I am a proud Filipina. And I want to showcase to the universe that cultural representation is not about fitting into this mold that society says. It's about challenging these stereotypes, being able to embrace our authentic selves and really showcase what we're capable of. And even the Filipinos that have been living abroad, we are still proud Filipinos, and I want to be that representative for them.
Wow, Mexico, here we come. Again, thank you, Kim, for
you so
allowing us to do this interview with you. But we're bringing the spotlight back again to you so you can give out some thanks or probably invite everyone and share your social media accounts and where else can we get updates about you.
So again, thank you so much for taking your time to really get to know me, and of course to all my supporters back home and here in the Philippines who have continued to show their unwavering love and support. You can continue following my journey at Kymberlee Street on Instagram. And I also want to just shout out to my amazing team who got me ready today, who have been behind the scenes working with everywhere I go. I am so grateful, and I can't wait to show all of you what we've been waiting for. So we'll stay tuned.